You want to tell us your name and talk about where you're currently living?
Okay, my name's Michelle Muncie Silva, and my family and I are currently living in South Monterey County.
Excellent. And what about your experience in South Monterey County made you want to do this interview with us?
I think Monterey County as a whole is one of the most diverse areas. I don't think people really always, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is Monterey, Carmel, but there's such a diverse array of things that you can do that I just really love talking about the area and letting people know all the different things that they can get access to.
Great. What are some positives, some things you really like about South Monterey?
I think definitely you're going to be able to do, if you come down here and you visit, you're going to be able to do some hiking. You're going to be able to eat at some amazing restaurants. We've got a national park right up the way, the Pinnacles National Park. We've got some amazing restaurants from Salinas to Monterey to Carmel to Big Sur area. And we've got wine tasting and we've got outdoor spots. So it's just such an amazing area where there's literally something for everybody.
Excellent. Are there any specific local things you would want to advise people to go to if they were going to come visit for the day or so?
I think if I had my perfect day in the area, I'd eat breakfast at from scratch over at the barnyard in Carmel by the sea, and I would head over to Point Lobos. The state reserve has some amazing hikes right along the coast. So you can see the waves crashing and you can smell that salt air and you can get your exercise at the same time. Um, Lunch probably needs to be in Monterey. You got to go see the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's absolutely world class. And then go have lunch at Old Fisherman's Grotto on the wharf and see all the chintzy stuff that they have on the wharf, all the candy shops and the taffy pulling, and just kind of grab that whole vibe. And you can go whale watching from there as well. But if you do go into Old Fisherman's Grotto, the clam chowder is amazing. It's the best in the area, but there's a version that they sell called the clam bake, where they'll put it in this giant bread bowl and they'll put shrimp and crab on top of it. And yeah, you can't miss that. That's like a must. Um, and then doing 17-mile drive is, a lot of people know about that, but the tip that my husband and I were just taking family over the other day is you've got to have drinks out on the patio at the Spanish Bay Inn. So you do 17-mile drive, and right towards the end of it, if you're coming from the Carmel area, you're going to do 17-mile drive, and right at the end of it, you have Spanish Bay Inn. And what a lot of people don't know is that they have a bagpipe player that will play 4:30 this time of year when it gets dark earlier. 4:30, he walks from, I think, the first hole to the second hole. And if you're sitting on the patio having drinks by the fireplace at Spanish Bay, he's going to come and play right by you as you're sitting there. And it's the most surreal experience because you're sitting at this in Pacific Grove and you just got done doing 17-mile drive and there's a bagpipe player coming by. And a lot of people don't know about that, but it's such a cool thing. Um, I guess if you just had the one day, you'd probably be pretty full and done by that point. You'd probably want to go rest. There's a couple of amazing spots. Kind Traveler, actually, if you're familiar with kindtraveler.com, they focus on hotel stays that are sustainable and benefit locals and the local environment. And they actually have 3 places that they recommend in the Monterey Bay area. And one of them is absolutely amazing. It's the Sanctuary Beach Resort over in Marina. And you've got properties where you're just walking down the sand dunes right to the water. So that would pretty much be the perfect day in my book. If you want to throw in one more meal, you've got to go get Shapino at Phil's Fish Market over at Moss Landing. But I don't know how you'd fit it in after a day like that.
Wow. Excellent. Thank you so much. On the flip side, are there some things that you don't like as much or maybe wish you could change?
Hmm. Right now, California, the rain. I love the green hills, but the weather it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. I definitely think right now, even getting over to Monterey, some of the flood areas are kind of treacherous. So right now we've got our kids aren't even going to school right now because some of the flooding. So I would say give it some time before you visit, let the community recover a little bit. Don't try to come running over while this rain is going on, that's for sure.
Excellent. Good to know. So overall, would you recommend that someone move to your area?
I think anyone considering moving to California, you definitely have to consider budget. Um, I recommend, so for example, if somebody's going to come stay, I'll recommend that they come stay over in Marina. Like I recommended that Sanctuary Beach Resort. There's definitely a little bit more affordability if you look at areas like South Monterey County up towards the Salinas area. But once you get into Salinas and over towards the coast, budget is definitely an issue. So if you're thinking of moving to the area, definitely consider the budget. California is actually not that detrimental tax wise to a middle class, lower class. It's really that upper middle class and above where you're going to get hit with taxes. So you really have to look at what impacts you're going to have if you're going to move to the California area for sure.
Wow, excellent. Where have you lived previously before you lived in Monterey?
Oh, goodness. My dad was a very promotion oriented person. So every time there was a new promotion and a new job, we moved. So I am, I'm pretty much a California girl, though, born and raised. So I've lived everywhere from Southern California to Northern California and everywhere in between. So I can, yeah, if you, Saugus, Valencia, Fillmore, Santa Paula, Ventura, and then up towards Chico, Yuba City, Sacramento, up in those northern areas. Might as well be Oregon, they call it.
Nice. Do you have any advice for someone who might be moving like from one end of the state to the other, for example?
Hmm. I would say my advice is probably talk to your locals, get to know your neighbors, because you're going to find out from them where the best places are to go, to get to know a community, to get involved in organizations. Um, my mom and I both, having moved so much, we've kind of learned you get yourselves into volunteer groups, you get to meet people, you get yourselves involved in social organizations. And that's where you start to feel like you're a part of a community. Definitely, I would recommend that. If you have something you're passionate about and you want to volunteer to support that, um, dive in.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Those were kind of all my questions today. We kind of blew through it. Do you have anything you want to mention before we sign off?
If anybody wants to know anything about the Monterey Carmel area or even Pinnacles and Big Sur, that whole Monterey County experience, I've got a lot of posts on my blog that I would love people to dive into and ask me any questions. I'm happy to help people get to know the area better.
Yeah, and what's the like URL for that?
That's travelwithintention.com.
Excellent. And then we can link that in the description, so people can find it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I love helping people get to know the area.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I hope you have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thanks so much for having me. It was great.
Yeah, bye.